all for being here and take the time to take part of this webinar. It's all about the customer experience for today and how to leverage this as a managed service provider. You will learn more about ServiceNow and our product, customer service management. And if you have some questions, please note them in the chat. We will try to get them answered during the presentation. If not, we will return back to you after the meeting and try to respond on your questions. Please put your camera on to join our group. Mute yourself, and if you have some questions after the sections, there will some time to have interaction. We always love that. Thank you. Let's go to the agenda. Okay, we will start with an introduction of the presenters of today. We would like to tell you a little bit more about the customer service management proposition. We would like to give you an understanding of the value drivers and would like to connect afterwards with you what that means for your business. Marcel will continue with the implementation approach and share some best practices with other customers, some customer stories, and we will have some time left for questions and answers. So for today, we have Robert. He is our solution consultant, customer service. Now we have Agne from Platformation. She's the counterpart of Robert. And we have Marcel. He can tell a little bit more about all things what's happening at the customer side. And he's from Platformation, as the same as Agne is. Let's move.
All right. So thank you, Sebastian. Good morning, all. My name is Robert van der Steeg, and I'm working in the solution consulting department of ServiceNow, focusing on customer service management. In the next 10 minutes, I would like to give you a quick overview of the added value we see for service providers in using customer service management. Before we go into the real detail, let's take a quick step back and see what are the 4 challenges that we see in the market for service providers. Well, in order to support and lead customers in their digital transformation journey, service providers must become the innovative and agile partner that builds the services to enable customers to achieve their business outcomes, right? So in a world with multiple clouds, all the new technologies that we get, and digital transformation journeys that actually may take multiple years, the complexity for service providers increases while customers still demand speed and transparency. So what we would like to do in the next couple of slides to focus on 3 roles. First of all, of course, the customer, then have a look at the workforce, and finally have a look at your service owners and see how ServiceNow customer service management can bring value to them, supported by a data model that helps you to protect customer data and meet the compliance with regulations. And as you are probably aware of, that everything we talk about today is managed on a single platform with one data model and one architecture. So let's start with the first role, the customer. Customer is always looking for an effortless experience, right? With a modern service portal where information is easily available in the context of the customer and the services they are using, where engagement can easily be triggered via multiple channels, where they have visibility and transparency, and where it is easy to onboard to new services that you offer as a service provider. Customer service management can help customers with a self-service portal where they can actually use a knowledge base with relevant information based on their profile and based on their services that they're using. Messages and notifications can be pushed to the customers to inform them about upgrades and other important messages. We will use the concept of a service catalog to digitize workflows that can be used to request help or to request services, like, for example, onboarding to a new service or adding a new service or a new user to your analytics platform. And next to the concept of a service catalog, you can also offer other engagement channels like chat or a virtual agent to have a more digitized customer engagement. The portal can also be used to provide visibility to your customers on the services they are using and the health of those services. In the context of this, case progress can be tracked, linked to SLAs to provide full transparency on those services and on the entitlements of the contract. Next to install base and cases, we can also use the portal to provide transparency on the actual contracts that they have, on the entitlements that they have, and on the contacts that you want to manage on the customer portal themselves. The second role that we briefly want to touch on is the role of your employees, who obviously you want to provide a good employee experience to, by working with a modern platform that supports them to work in an efficient way, with all information available to actually do their work and focus on those activities where they can have a big impact. So where ServiceNow Customer Service Management can help them is by offering a dedicated workspace as part of the ServiceNow platform that is designed for agents to work in an efficient and effective way. Work is routed to the best suited agent based on skills or on availability or on location or on the customer or on the services that the customer has requested help for, where then the agent is supported by AI capabilities to understand the data in the system. For example, to understand how previous similar issues were resolved, which knowledge articles can be used, etc. But also with guided step-by-step approaches to resolve issues fast. The agent workspace also helps agents to push tasks or work to the back office organization to get work done in order to resolve the customer case. An example is where you create an incident to get your internal teams to investigate a customer issue, where internal communication is then nicely separated from the customer communication. As part of the agent desktop, we also provide insights to the agent about the install base or the products and services that are bought by the customer. And with this information easily available for the agents, they can support the customer in the right context even better. So the third role is the role of the service owner. And of course, that person or that role in your organization is looking for end-to-end traceability of how the services are being consumed, if delivery of the services is in line with the contracts and entitlements, and to see where automation can be applied to increase efficiency of the organization. Using the ServiceNow platform, the service owner can get clear insights in the health of the services to be able to move the organization from a reactive mode to proactive, and in a later stage, even a preventive mode. And Agne will talk about these stages later on as well. With this information, combined with the insights we have in the platform on which customers are using which service, that can help us to proactively notify your customers about services that go down, for example, or services that have degradation in their performance, and inform those customers with a push notification on the portal, send them an email, push something on their website, whatever you define, to let them know that you are already working on this case to resolve the issue. So in summary, and I have to apologize here for the fact there's way too much information on this slide. Customer service management adds what we call here a customer engagement layer that allows customers to interact with you via several channels, right? So via self-service channels, what you see here on the left, you can think about virtual agent conversations to basically create a case in the system. That case is managed by your agents. Sometimes they can resolve it themselves, right? But sometimes you also have to push work into your back office organizations, and that's where we connect the customer engagement layer with the services with the service operations layer that you probably know with the ITIL processes that are part of the ITSM module, basically. So we can push a case into an incident or push a case into your back office organization as well. The good thing here is that what we normally would say, you know, you have ITSM and you have customer service management. Customer service management contains ITSM, right? So the big advantage here is that on top of ITSM, we add this additional layer with customer engagement that allows you to have separate processes, you know, to manage the communication between customer and your service agents, and to manage internal work in a very efficient way. If you then add information like your monitoring tools or your IoT devices, you can move from a reactive mode where the customer initiates the case. You can move from a reactive to a proactive mode where we use the data and information from the platform to understand which services are being used by which customers, to proactively involve those customers and inform those customers that you're already working on the incidents to resolve issues fast. Before we're going to listen on how to implement this and to listen to some customer cases, Sebastian, are there any questions in the chat?
I was muted, but are there any questions? You can be vocal, and I don't see anyone in the chat yet. So please ask them if there are people who want to ask a question.
There's no urgent questions now. That's okay?
Nope.
Then I suggest that we move to the next topic.
Yes, that's my part, Robert. Thank you very much. Great story of customer service management and which value it brings with it. So I have the honor to tell you a little bit about our company Platformation. So Sebastian, if you can go to the next slide. So before we go into the implementation approach and the best practices, let me tell you a little bit about Platformation in a nutshell. So we are an elite ServiceNow partner with 100% pure focus and dedication to deliver all products and services for the ServiceNow platform. We have a global presence. We have our headquarters in Utrecht, the Netherlands, and we also have offices in Germany, Belgium, US, and in India. We are very proud that we received the ServiceNow EMEA Overall Partner of the Year 2020. So that's proving that we are doing the right things. And what we are doing are actually three things. First of all, our advisory services. So we help our customers with strategic advice, helping them on developing an end-to-end vision on the ServiceNow platform. Second are the implementation services. So all solutions ServiceNow provides, we have the expertise to implement that. And lastly, our DevOps services, where we help our customers maintaining their ServiceNow platform and also developing new enhancements to run the platform optimally. So that's a little bit about Platformation. I would like to give the floor to my colleague Agne, who will tell more about the implementation approach and best practices.
Yes, thank you, Marcel. Just making sure you can hear me well. Can you confirm? Yes, thank you. All right, so in the next few minutes, we would like to walk you through the approach we at Platformation take when implementing ServiceNow CSM. So how to get started? So we believe that starting small and streamlining reactive flows from the customer to operational teams is a good first step. In the next stages, we extend support with informative customer support, where we also include mobile and web channels to enable knowledge management and virtual agent. And later on, starting to support intelligent service flows to provide responsive support and automate the most common requests to deliver them faster. Because, of course, when the customers are asking same things all over again, then it's easier to automate them as well. Going further, we tie in with IT that allows to provide proactive customer service, identifying issues in customer services and fixing them before they knowing it, or proactively raising awareness before customers need to contact you. So this is also what Robert mentioned, that is very important to set up, for in this case, the item as well, to make sure that you have the service-aware install base. And with install base, we're going to touch upon that a little bit later. And of course, lastly, we believe that the best service is no service, which can also be achieved over time by following these steps. So how to get started with the implementation? So in order to implement customer service management or any other process in ServiceNow instance, we adhere to the latest ServiceNow Now Create methodology, where by following 5 simple steps with their supporting tooling, we're able to implement ServiceNow in a lean and agile way. So we begin with the initiation phase, where we analyze the customer situation, define clear goals our organization wants to achieve, and set up a project team that consists of both platformation and the customer team, with which we kick off the formal engagement of the implementation. Then we move on to the plan phase, where we set up and hold necessary process analysis workshops with the customer and gather necessary configuration requirements, from which we move on to the execution phase, because of course the new configuration requirements need to be implemented as well. In the next execution phase, we run agile cycles of development work and complete the gather requirements during the sprints. Before going live, we make sure that we reserve time for a UAT or user acceptance testing, from where, if all approved, we go live with the process and provide any necessary post-go live support and eventually formally close the engagement. As mentioned earlier, we approach implementation in an agile way, where we set up agile team and let customers test early throughout the process to make sure we deliver supported and accepted configuration. So this again means that we're working within the team of both the customer and platformation people. And in this way, we're able to deliver the desired configuration in as short as 30 days. However, for such fast delivery, some conditions apply. And in order to be able to deliver such fast implementation, we encourage customers to stay as close to out of the box as possible, which carries also a number of benefits. We usually, throughout the implementation, we always warn the customer or mention where to stay out of the box and what we can potentially customize without having a huge impact. Out of the box, or what we call plain vanilla ServiceNow, provides lower technical depth and quick and easy upgradability, where customers are able to utilize new or improved functionality without additional investments. You probably know that ServiceNow every 6 months have a new release with the new features, so staying out of the box enables you to use new features without any additional configuration because they're already installed there. Lastly, in addition to this, staying out of the box provides broader access to ServiceNow specialists, which also enables organizations to maintain and administer ServiceNow using internal resources. So you don't always have to count on the partners making sure that everything is configured in the right way, because you can also do it internally. So what enables to deliver the implementation so fast? So for this, we think that the wheel has been already invented, so we waste no time reinventing it. And we use, first of all, a predefined workshop structure, proven functional technical guiding principles, which I'll get to in a second, how we actually do that, and various ready-to-use assets we have developed over time for implementation support. So moving on to a little bit more of what are those assets. So first of all, to kick off the implementation, we use assumption documents where we perform certain checks upfront to prevent any surprises further in the project. So it's a document of multiple questions where we actually just clarify some things with the customer. Of course, again, I mentioned that we do the implementation with holding process analysis workshop. So our workshop-based approach has extensive implementation decks available and ready to use for those workshops. And the same accounts for the most common implementation requirements, because we see a lot of times that a lot of customers ask exactly the same thing. So therefore, again, we do not waste a lot of time to redoing it all over again, because we have ready to go and ready to be installed update sets. Before moving to UAT, of course, UAT is taken care of as well. So we have a testing documents available, which together with the customer, we just adhere to the new process of what we configured if we change some things, and hand out during the user acceptance testing phase. So then the phase can also take a little bit more time. So customers can test at their own phase as well. And lastly, we hand out process design documents, which can also be used to communicate a new way of working internally as well, to basically just to get people familiarized with the new processes and what has been implemented. So Of course, we strive to deliver the best quality implementation. Therefore, we make sure that our consultants adhere to the latest ServiceNow configuration best practices. And those at Platformation are continuously reviewed and updated by our experienced architect, and they're maintained on our internal website, so on Confluence. So basically, everything that would be configured according to the best practices that must find a place on the Confluence as well. And in addition to that, of course, we use also most commonly used code that also adheres to the best development practices as well. And even by slightest chance, sometimes happens that there are some deviations that where we deviate from the best practices, we also count of our quality assurance tooling by identifying deviations quickly. So basically, we're able to scan the instances and see what kind of configurations are not adhering to the best practices, and then simply fixing them quickly. So that does not necessarily mean for our consultants, but also in case there's development done at the customer end, we can scan those as well to make sure that we also in the meantime teach them what this would be the good practice. Also for the customer data modeling, so this also including setting up install bases that Robert was talking about, we use proven reference architectures to begin with, which help us to structure customer landscape in a way that can be also leveraged by different processes in a seamless way. So let's say not necessarily by customer service management as well, but that can be used in IT service management and ITBM and other modules as well. Yeah, so at this point, I'd like to check if there's any questions at all so far. Otherwise, I'd like Marcel to take over and show how some customers benefited from this already.
Yes, let's see if there are any questions in the meantime. Not yet. All right.
It's been very clear.
Very clear, yes, indeed. Yeah, a great story, Agne, in how we can maximize the value of the ServiceNow platform in our implementation approach and our accelerators. So in the next slides, I will tell you a bit more about 3 customer references, which we helped by implementing customer service management. And the first one is Root IT. And Root IT is part of KPN. It's a leading Dutch provider of end-to-end IT solutions. They have about 1,500 business partners and roughly 200 employees. So Root IT was challenging itself with a legacy system to improve their customer experience and also automate customer service processes. They were facing a lot of manual processes, which resulted in longer ticket resolution times. And with a lack of transparency, they were not able to efficiently resolve those issues fast. Next to that, they also had a very complex IT landscape with a layered business model. So when innovation and automation attempts on current tooling failed, they started searching for a scalable tool that could consolidate all processes handling in one single system of action. So by implementing a customer portal, case management, a virtual agent, Root IT now provides their partners a global one-stop shop where they can raise cases and request services, or easily search the knowledge base where they can find the solutions by themselves. For fulfillers, Agent Workspace allows them to work more efficiently and also more transparently. Well, the outcome? Well, the increased use of a modernized service portal resulted in resolving issues very fast and also high customer satisfaction, as it is so easy to use for their business partners to request those cases, questions, etc. Next to that, the integration with their in-house management application led to shorter case resolution time. And the platform is so easy to configure, and now Root IT has a solid base to improve their customer service, and also importantly, they can grow with it into the future. Let's go to the second customer case. That's Unit 4, a large cloud computing software company for ERP systems. They are serving more than 35,000 customers and have about 2,500 employees. So the challenge for Unit 4 was that they had many siloed processes, as the customer support department and the IT department were also using different applications and tools. So the customer support department were looking on incoming tickets, and the IT department was busy to fix those issues for the customers, and they were not aligned with each other. So a lot of manual processes and wasted time was there. And their mission was actually to look for a solution that can standardize and harmonize all those processes and all work in one single platform. So we have implemented a global case management solution and also a customer service portal where customers can raise requests, services, but also can put in complaints, for example, all in a single platform. So we also implemented virtual agent, a very interesting feature where customers can easily interact and request services via a chatbot. Next to that, we also implemented ServiceNow IT operation management, and this enables them to monitor the complete landscape of software and hardware. Well, the outcome is that they, through the automated workflows, all workflows through the organization very fast and with an end-to-end process of all operational departments, yeah, they are aligned on one single platform, which gives them a lot of value. This also allows them to have complete visibility over performance and quality of their services, which results in a significant improvement of service level agreements, and also, of course, important, the customer satisfaction. So we handled now root IT and Unit 4. I would like to go to the last one, and that's interaction. And interaction is providing data center solutions. They have about 2,000 customers, 1,000 employees. And I would like to show you a video of this customer reference, which tells perfectly what their challenges were, objectives, the solutions we implemented, and also the outcomes. So enjoy the video.
My name is Jeroen van Kruijkamp. I work for Interaction in Europe, and I'm the product owner for ServiceNow in Europe. Interaction is a company that provides data center services. We have close to 900 customers. Most of the customers you use on a daily basis. They are cloud service providers, they are streaming media providers, there are large enterprises, finance organizations. We wanted to become process oriented, but in the beginning everybody invented their own processes, which led to a diverse way of also dealing with customers. And what we really wanted to achieve is to make a consistent approach towards customers and have similarity between the processes and have a little bit less diverse ICT landscape. And so those were the things that we wanted to change, and we've done that via a transformation program. We have a portal via which customers can request services and products. So if they want cabling to be done, they request that as a service. If they want us to press the button on their equipment, it's asked as a service. When they raise a complaint, it goes via ServiceNow. When they want to request access for a particular person who wants to visit their locations, that's done via ServiceNow. So those are the most predominant use cases. We've seen the first results of the transition program. When we started off, compared to where we are today, we've seen a 40% efficiency increase, which is quite significant. And we also see that the landscape is quite simplified. And we also see the standardization across countries, which led to the efficiency increase as well.
And what the change actually for the customers itself?
They don't have to deal with 11 interaction companies anymore. They deal with one interaction company, single interface, and all the data is together. So if a large service provider wants to see, can you give me an overview of all my cases, you can do that across the enterprise, not only limited to a certain country. So we were looking for a partner that actually understands how to build solutions and integrate those solutions within the overall philosophy. And of course, there's a lot of companies that can implement ITSM solutions, but there are not too many companies that can implement solutions that are a little bit outside the ITSM space, such as customer service management, ITBM, and field service management. So from a implementation partner, we expect them to provide the product expertise, but also provide us with help on how to maintain and innovate this professionally, because that's what you guys do.
Yeah, I think a great movie which shows how we helped interaction with ServiceNow, and also great to see, of course, that they have an efficiency of 40% in their operation departments. Yeah, I see
one
a
question
actually coming in.
Oh, continue, Marcel. Sorry.
No worries, but I see a question coming in, Sebastian.
That's right. I see two questions coming in. One is, does ServiceNow offer any solutions where the value chain, business process and item combined, can be visualized or monitored? Maybe Robert can answer this question.
Let me see if I understand the question right. Etienne, would you elaborate a little bit on this question? Or am I putting you on the spot now?
You can be vocal as well, Etienne.
I think you have to unmute him.
Yeah, great.
Let me see. Sorry, looking for him.
He's on.
I cannot unmute him. That's interesting.
No, me too. I can only make him a presenter. Then he can unmute himself.
I think now everyone can unmute themselves.
I'll type it in. Okay.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you.
Hi.
Basically, what I mean is, if we're looking at the way that we're trying to service our customers, what we try to do is that we try to combine our IT services with the customer business processes. So if we're looking at the monitoring in an infrastructure or software perspective, we also want to know if the value chain, so if a business process, a key business process is impacted when a certain service, which is part of their supply chain, is degraded or in any case. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, and I think that's exactly what we mean with the customer install base, right? So what we mean with that is that we link your IT infrastructure, we link it to the business services of your customers, right? So if there's a problem on one of these CIs, whatever where they are, we want to understand what's the impact for the customer, which customers are being affected, and what process is being affected at that customer, right? So that's where we talk about customer install base, right? So that's where we try to link the two.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you want to add anything there.
If I then may add to this, so what Robert said, so the install bases, and then you have customer service portal, right? So in the customer service portal, the customer is able to log in and they have full overview of how, let's say, the install bases that they have are performing at that time, and if there's by any chance some outage or so, they can also see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically the install base can be, we can see the install base like a representation of one of their business processes.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for the question.
I see Bart Hoogstenbach also has a question. So it's about the success stories the lead times. Yeah, good question. So, for example, Unit 4, we actually implemented 4 solutions, right, of ServiceNow. We did that in 90 days. But maybe for this topic, customer service management, it's good to know that we can already implement this solution in 30 days. Maybe Agne, could you also tell a little bit about the effort actually we put into these implementations?
Yeah, so first of all, 30 days would mean that we mostly count on out-of-the-box setup, because you know that ServiceNow comes with already predefined solutions. And those 30 days would mean pretty much like making sure that we execute the workshops and then adjust any requirements and load the necessary data. So and also, of course, depends on how many additional features do we want. So let's say in those 30 days, we would definitely implement actual process of a case management, of ticket handling, and making sure that they go to assigned groups. Service portal, data modeling. So let's say the primary solutions to make the process work. And then of course, when we're looking into the more complex things or more additional features like virtual agent and so on, this would of course exceed the effort a little bit. But at least within 30 days, you can have a working solution, at least for your ticket handling, and a front-end solution for your customers to log those tickets. That's for sure. Does that answer the question? I hope.
Yes, it's a positive response in the chat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, I already answered in the chat indeed, but that's completely clear. It is, gives enough detail for the moment now. So thank you very much.
Okay, are there any other questions? I don't think so. Let me close it a little bit then, and also, yeah, on the screen you see already our contact details. Of course, stay in the loop. Thanks for watching, and I hope we get you inspired about the value of customer service management, and also how we can easily implement this solution with our expertise. Again, thank you very much, everybody, and hope to speak to you again.